Samsaradavanalidaluka Chanayakayanyaganaganadvam Praptasya kayana gunanavasya Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda Mahaprabhu Kirtan Nitya Gita Paritya Madhya Manasudasena Romanchakam Pashutaranga Vaja Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda Shivigara Nityanana Shingaratan Mandira Majinala Yuktasya Bhaktam Shaniyunjatopi Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda Chaturvidashi Bhagavat Prasada Swarena Driptanari Bhakta Sangha Kirtaiva Driptam Vajata Sadeva Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda Shri Harikama Davayorabhara Madhurya Lila Guna Rupanamna Pratishanaspadanalupasya Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda Nikunjayuno Radhikari Sirai Yaya Libhayutira Peshaniya Tadrati Raksharati Valabhasya Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda Sakshararit Vina Samasta Shastra Uktastata Bhavyata Eva Sadhi Kintu Prabhuya Vivatasya Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda Yasya prasada bhagavat prasado Yasya prasada nagati kutopi Ayam subham sasya yasyasti sandhyam Vande Guru Shivaya Naravinda Ayam subham sasya yasyasti sandhyam Vande Guru Shivaya Naravinda Vande Guru Shivaya Naravinda Vande Guru Shivaya Naravinda Vande Guru Shri Sharanaravinda Vande Guru Shri Sharanaravinda Vande Guru Shri Sharanaravinda Vande Guru Shri Sharanaravinda Nama Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Krishna Prasaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasyatya Deshakarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhaktavinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhaktavinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Nilamada Radha Nilamada Shri Radhe. Jaya Radha Nilamada Radha Nilamada Shri Radhe. Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Baladeva Jaya Subhaja. Jaya Sitaram Jaya Sitaram Jaya Sitaram Jaya Lakshman Hanuman. Jaya Gauranita Jaya Gauranita Jaya Gauranita Jaya Gauranita. Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva. Nitya Haribo 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 Nitya Haribo.
Jai Om Shripada Pramhamsa Pajaka Shtota Shata Shishmat His Divine Grace. Abharchandrinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON BBTBI Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Shripada Pramhamsa Pajaka Shtota Shata Shishmat His Divine Grace. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Gaudi Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai. Nama Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Premisika Ho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Dadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinatha Shamakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavandam Ki Jai. Shri Navadvipa Marpadam Ki Jai. Shri Prashottama Chaitra Jagannathpuri Dham Ki Jai. Shri Ayodhya Dham Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Ki Jai. Yamuna Mai Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Harinama Sankirtana Ki Jai. Nitai Gaura Premanande Hari Hari. Samavrita Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Praladadadaine. Hiranyakashipurvakshaha. Shilatankanakalaye. Ito Narsimha Parato Narsimho. यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंह बहिर्नरसिंहो हृदये नरसिंहो नरसिंहमदिं शरणं प्रपद्ये तव करकमलवरेणाकाम् अद्भुतशृङ्गां दलिता हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गां केशवधृता नरहरिरूप जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जयो केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जयो नरसिंहदेव जयो नरसिंहदेव जयो नरसिंहदेव जयो नरसिंहदेव जयो भक्ता प्रहलाद जयो भक्ता प्रहलाद जयो भक्ता प्रहलाद जयो भक्ता प्रहलाद जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव जय लक्ष्मी नरसिम्हा स्वामी की जय जय प्रहलाद महाराज की जय
देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय।
कृष्ण प्रेयसी नमो नमः। राधा कृष्ण सेवा पावो ए अभिलाषी। राधा कृष्ण सेवा पावो ए अभिलाषी। जे तो मार शरण लोय तारा वंच पूर्ण होय। कृपा कोरी कोरो तारे वृंदावन बासी। मोरा अभिलाष बिलास कुंज दियो वास। नयने हेरिबो सदा जुगल रूप राशि। ए निवेदन धारो सखीरानुगत कोरो। सेवादि कर दिए कोरो निज दासी। दीना कृष्ण दासे कोय ए न मोरा होय। श्री राधा गोविंदा प्रेमे सदा ये नबासी। यानि कानि च पापानि ब्रह्महत्यादिकानि च तानि तानि प्रणशन्ति प्रदक्षिण पदे पदे। यानि कानि च पापानि ब्रह्महत्यादिकानि च तानि तानि प्रणशन्ति प्रदक्षिण पदे पदे। यानि कानि च पापानि ब्रह्महत्यादिकानि च तानि तानि प्रणशन्ति प्रदक्षिण पदे पदे। Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Vrinda Devi, Jaya Vrinda Devi, Jaya Vrinda Devi, Jaya Vrinda Devi. Jaya Tulsi Maharani, Jaya Tulsi Maharani, Jaya Tulsi Maharani, Jaya Tulsi Maharani. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. वृंदा देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय.
वृंदाय तुलसी देवाय प्रियाय केशवस्य च विष्णु भक्तिपदे देवी सत्यवताय नमो नमः. वृंदाय तुलसी देवाय प्रियाय केशवस्य च विष्णु भक्तिपदे देवी सत्यवताय नमो नमः. वृंदाय तुलसी देवाय प्रियाय केशवस्य च विष्णु भक्तिपदे देवी सत्यवताय नमो नमः. वृंदा देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय. O Tulasi, beloved Krishna, I bow down before you again. My desire in the service of Shri Radha and Krishna. Whoever takes shelter of you has wish fulfilled. Bestow mercy upon him and make him a resident of Vrindavana. My desire also grant me residence in the precious groves of Shiv and Vrindavana town. Thus within my vision, I shall behold the beautiful path of Radha and Krishna. I beg you to make me a follower of Karha dance of the Virgin. Please give me the privilege devotional service and make me your own maid servant. This very fallen and lowly servant of Krishna praise. May I always swim in the love of Shri Radha and Govinda. Srimati Tulasi Maharani ki jai. There are 10 fences in the matter of chant holy names should be avoided, and they are as follows. 1. To blaspheme the devotees have dedicated their life for propagating the holy name of the Lord. 2. To consider the name of the demigods, Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, to be equal to independent name Lord Vishnu. 3. To disobey the orders of spiritual master. 4. To blaspheme the Vedic literature or literature pursuant to the Vedic version. 5. To consider glorious chanting Hare Krishna to be imagination. 6. To give some interpretation to holy name of the Lord. 7. To commit sinful activities on the strength of chanting the holy name. 8. To consider chanting Hare Krishna one of the auspicious ritualistic activities, offering the Veda the fruity activities, Karma, Ganda. 9. To instruct a faithless person about glorious holy name. 10. To not complete faith in the chanting holy names, and to maintain material attachments even after studying so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava must carefully guard against these 10 offenses in order to quickly achieve desired success. Krishna Prema. Now let us offer our most humble obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. They are just as I choose who can fulfill to everyone, and they are full of compassion for the fallen conditioned souls. Shri Chaitanya Shikshastakam ki jai. Jeto darpanamarchanam pavamahadavagni nirvapanam Shriya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam Vidyavatu Jivanam Anandam Buddhivardhanam Pratipadam Purunamita Swadanam Sarvatmasnapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Nam Namakari Bahudha Nija Sarva Shaktis Tatrapita Niyamita Smaranena Kalaha Etadishi Tavakripa Bhagavam Mamapi Durudevami Dishami Hajanina Nurakaha Trinatapi Sunijena Tarorapi Sahishnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadaharihi Na Thanam Na Janam Na Sundarim Kavitam Vajagadisha Kamaye Mama Jammani Jammanishvare Bhavata Bhaktir Haituki Tavai Ayinanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patitam Han Vishame Bhavam Puta Kripaya Tava Pada Pankaja Sthita Dhuli Satwisham Vichintaya Nayanam Galata Shurudharaya Vatanam Gadgata Rudaya Kira Pulakai Nichitam Vapurkata Tava Nama Karane Bhavishati Yuga Itam Nimishena Chakshusha Pravisha Itam Shunya Itam Jagat Sarvam Govinda Virahe Name Ashirisha Va Padaratam Pinnashtumam Adarshana Marmhatam Karotuva Yatha Tatha Va Vitatatu Lampato Matprana Natastu Saeva Na Paraha Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Shri Chaitanya Shikshastakam Ki Jai. Glory to the Shri Krishna Sankirtana, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life, repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is prime benediction of humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It's the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss and enables us to fully taste the nectar of which we are always anxious. O my Lord, your holy name alone grants all benediction of human beings. Thus we have hundreds of millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, they invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out kindness enables us to easily approach you by holy names, but I'm so unfortunate I have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor to desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth. O Son of Mahajananda Krishna, I am eternal servitor, yet somehow I fall into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me at one of Adam's or lotus feet. O my Lord, while my eyes bedecked with tears of love flowing constantly and chanting holy name, while my voice choke up or hurts my body stand end to recitation of your name. O Govinda, feeling of separation becomes a moment to be like a great millennium. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I'm feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and shall remain so even if he handles me roughly by his embrace, or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipable Lord, unconditionally. Shri Chaitanya Shikshastakam Ki Jai. Shri Mangala prayers Ki Jai. Om Jnana Timirandasya Yananjana Shalakaya Chakshum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manopishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Soyam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurung Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Ragnatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savatutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nivishesha Shunyavadi Bhajate Desha Tarine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Iti Namine Shri Varshabhanavi Devi Daitaya Kripaptaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Dayine Prabhavin Namaha Madhuryo Jala Premadya Shirupanuka Bhaktita Shikara Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Dinatarine Rupanuka Virutapa Siddhanta Dvantaharine Namo Gaura Kishoraya Saksha Vairagya Mutaye Vipalamba Rasam Bodhe Padam Pujayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Sachidananda Namine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanuka Varayate Gauravya Bhava Bhumistvam Nirdeshta Sajana Priyaha Vaishnava Sara Bhauma Shri Jaganathaya Te Namaha Vancha Kalpatarupyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Padayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratishe Namaha Pancha Tattvatmakam Krishna Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakham Namami Bhakta Shaktikam He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagapate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Jayatam Srator Pangor Mamamanda Mate Kati Masarasvapadam Bojo Radha Madana Mohano Divya Vindaranya Kalpa Jumada Shimadra Nagara Singhasanasto Shrimad Radha Shila Govinda Devo Prishtaripi Sevyamano Smarami Shriman Rasa Rasarampi Vamshivata Tata Stitaha Karsham Venu Saner Gopir Gopinata Shriyestunaha Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Panamami Hari Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Dadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Shri Mangalacharna Prayers Ki Jai Shri Brahma Samhita Ki Jai Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadyaradya Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam Chintamani Parakara Satmasu Kalpa Viksha Lakshariteshu Surabhi Rabi Palayantam Lakshmi Sahasa Shatasam Paramasevya Manam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Venum Kavanantam Aravinda Talaya Taksham Parhavatam Samasitam Buddha Sundarangam Gantarpa Koti Kamaniya Vishesha Shopam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Alola Chantakala Savanamare Vamshi Ranang Kadam Panayakeli Kalavilasam Shamam Tripanka Lalitam Yata Prakasham Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Angani Yasya Sakalendriya Vrittimanti Pashanti Panti Kalayanti Chiram Jaganti Ananda Chimma Satujula Vigrahasya Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Advaitam Achotam Anadi Mananta Rupam Adyam Purana Purusham Navayovanam Cha Vedeshu Durlabam Adurlabam Atma Bhakta Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Pantastu Koti Shatavasara Sampragamyo Vayurathapi Manaso Muni Pangavanam Sopiasti Yapapada Simya Vichinta Tatve Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Ekopya Sara Chayitum Jakatanta Kotim Yachakti Rasti Jakatanta Chaya Yadantaha Antantarastha Paramanu Chayantarastham Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Yad Bhava Bhavitadiyo Manujastha Teva Samprapya Rupa Mahimasana Yana Pushaha Suktayam Eva Nigama Patitaistu Vanti Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Ananda Chimme Rasa Patibhavitapis Tapir Evan Jarupa Taya Kalapihi Goloka Eva Nivasatya Kilatma Bhutto Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Premanjana Churuta Bhakti Vilochanena Santa Sateva Hitayeshu Vilokayanti Yam Shama Sundam Achintya Guna Swarupam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Ramadi Murtishu Kalaniyamena Tishtan Nanavatarama Bhuvaneshu Kintu Krishna Swayam Samabhava Parama Pumam Yo Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Pajami. Krishna, who is Govinda, the Supreme Godhead, he has an eternal blissful spiritual body. He is the origin of all. He has no other origin and the prime cause of all causes.
In abodes built with spiritual gems, surrounded by millions of purpose trees, always serve with great reverence and affection by hundreds of thousands of Lakshmis or Gopis.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is adept in playing on his flute, with blooming eyes like lotus petals, with head decked with peacock's feather, with the figure of beauty tanked with the hue of blue clouds, and his unique loveliness charming millions of cupids.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, round whose neck is swinging a garland of flowers, beautified with the moon locket, whose two hands are adorned with the flute and jeweled ornaments, who always revels in pastimes of love, whose graceful threefold bending form of Shyamasundar is eternally manifest.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, whose transcendental form is full of bliss, truth, substantially, and is thus full of the most dazzling splendor. Each of the limbs of that transcendental figure possesses in himself the full-fledged functions of all the organs, and eternally sees, maintains, and manifests the infinite universes, both spiritual and mundane.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is inaccessible to the Vedas, but obtainable by pure unalloyed devotion of the soul, who is without a second, who is not subject to decay, is without a beginning, whose form is endless, who is the beginning and the eternal Purusha, yet he is a person possessing the beauty of blooming youth.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, only the tip of the toe of whose lotus feet is approached by the yogis, whose aspires after the transcendental and betake themselves to pranayam by drilling the respiration, or by the jnanis who try to find out the non-differentiated Brahman by the process of elimination of the mundane, extending over thousands of millions of years.
He is an undifferentiated entity, as there is no distinction between potency and the possessor thereof. In his work of creation of millions of worlds, his potency remains inseparable. All the universes exist in him, and he is present in his fullness in every one of the atoms that are scattered throughout the universe, at one and at the same time. Such is the primeval Lord whom I adore.
I adore the same Govinda, the primeval Lord, in whose praise men who are imbued with devotion sign the mantra suktas told by the Vedas, by gaining their appropriate beauty, greatness, thrones, conveyances, and ornaments.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, residing in his own realm, Goloka, with Radha, resembling his own spiritual figure, the embodiment of the ecstatic potency, possessed of the 64 artistic activities, in the company of her confidants, Sakis, embodiments of the extensions of her bodily form, permeated and vitalized by his ever blissful spiritual rasa.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is Shyam Sundar, Krishna himself, with inconceivable, innumerable attributes whom the pure devotees see in their heart of hearts with the eye of devotion, tanked with the salve of love.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who manifested himself personally as Krishna in different avatars in the world in forms of Rama, Nrsimha, Vamana, etc., as his subjective portions.
Bhagavad Gita 7.1 purport. Srinvatam swakata Krishna punyasravana kirtanaha hrutayanta histo hi abhadrani vidunoti suhritsatam nasta prayesva abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama sloke bhaktir bhavati naistiki tada rajastamo bhava kama lobhasdayasye चेत एतेर अनावेदम सिदम सत्वे प्रसीदति एवं प्रसन्न मनसो भगवत भक्ति योगतः भगवत तत्व विज्ञानम मुक्त संगस्य जायते विद्यते हृदय ग्रंथिश्चिद्यन्ते सर्व संशयाः क्षीयन्ते च कर्माणि दृष्टा एवात्मनीश्वरे. To hear about Krishna from Vedic literatures or to hear from him directly through the Bhagavad Gita is itself righteous activity. And for one who hears about Krishna, Lord Krishna, who is dwelling in everyone's heart, acts as a best wishing friend and purifies the devotee who constantly engages in hearing of him. In this way, devotee naturally develops his dormant transcendental knowledge. As he hears more about Krishna from the Bhagavatam and from the devotees, he becomes fixed in the devotional service of the Lord. By development of devotional service, one becomes freed from the modes of passion and ignorance and thus material lust and avarice and diminished. When these impurities are wiped away, the candidate remains steady in his position of pure goodness, becomes enlivened by devotional service, and understands the signs of God perfectly. Thus, Bhakti Yoga severs the heart knot of material affection and enables one to come at once to the stage of Asamsayam Samagram, understanding of the Supreme Absolute Truth Personality of Godhead, Bhagavatam 1.2.17-21. Therefore, only by hearing from Krishna or from his devotee in Krishna consciousness can one understand the signs of Krishna. Hare Krishna. We'll continue reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 25, Text 14. Tam imam te pravakshami yam avocham puranage rishinam srotu kamanam yogam sarvanga naipunam. Tam imam, that very, te, to you, pravakshami, I shall explain, yam, which, avocham, I explain, pura, formerly, anage, O pious mother, Rishinam, to the sages, Shrotu Kamanam, eager to hear, Yogam, yoga system, Sarva Anga, in all respects, Naipunam, serviceable and practical. Translation by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. O most pious mother, I shall now explain unto you the ancient yoga system which I explained formerly to the great sages. It is serviceable and practical in every way. Purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The Lord does not manufacture a new system of yoga. Sometimes it is claimed that someone has become an incarnation of God and is expounding a new theological aspect of the absolute truth. But here we find that although Kapila Muni is the Lord himself and is capable of manufacturing a new doctrine for his mother, he nevertheless says, I shall just explain the ancient system which I once explained to the great sages because they were also anxious to hear about it. When you have a super excellent process already present in Vedic scriptures, there is no need to concoct a new system to mislead the innocent public. At present, it has become a fashion to reject the standard system and present something bogus in the name of a newly invented process of yoga. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 25, Text 15. Cheta Kalva Asya Bandhaya Muktaye Chatmano Matam Guneshu Saktam Bandhaya Ratam Va Pumsi Muktaye. Cheta, consciousness, Kalu, indeed, Asya, of him, Bandhaya, for bondage, Muktaye, for liberation, Cha, and Atmanaha, of the living entity. Matam is considered Guneshu in the three modes of nature, Saktam, attracted, Bandhaya, for conditional life, Ratam, attached, Va, or Pumsi, in the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Muktai, for liberation. Translation by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The stage in which the consciousness of the living entity is attracted by the three modes of material nature is called conditioned life. But when that same consciousness is attached to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one is situated in the consciousness of liberation. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. There is a distinction here between Krishna consciousness and Maya consciousness. Guneshu or Maya consciousness involves attachment to the three material modes of nature, under which one works sometimes in goodness and knowledge, sometimes in passion, and sometimes in ignorance. These different qualitative activities with a central attachment for material enjoyment are the cause of one's conditional life. When the same Cheta or consciousness is transferred to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, or when one becomes Krishna conscious, he is on the path of liberation.
So, 16. Text 16, Canto 3, Chapter 25. Aham abhimanotai kamalobadi birmalai vitam yada manashuddham adukam asukam samam. Aham, I, mama, mine, abhimana, from the misconception, uttai, produced, kama, lust, lobha, greed, adibi, and so on, malai, from the impurities, vitam, freed, yada, when, mana, the mind, shuddham, pure, adukkam, without distress, asukam, without happiness, samam, equipoised. Translation: when one is completely cleansed of the impurities of lust and greed produced from the false identification of the body as I and bodily positions as mine, one's mind becomes purified. In that pure state, he transcends the stage of so-called material happiness and distress. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Kama and Lobha are the symptoms of material existence. Everyone always desires to possess something. It is said here that desire and greed are the products of false identification of oneself with the body. When one becomes free from this contamination, then his mind and consciousness also become freed and attain their original state. Mind, consciousness, and the living entity exist. Whenever we speak of the living entity, this includes the mind and consciousness. The difference between conditional life and liberated life occurs when we purify the mind and the consciousness. When they are purified, one becomes transcendental to material happiness and distress. In the beginning, Lord Kapila has said that the perfect yoga enables one to transcend the platform of material distress and happiness. How this can be done is explained here. One has to purify his mind and consciousness. This can be done by the Bhakti Yoga system. As explained in the Narada Pancharatra, one's mind and senses should be purified. Tat Paratvena Nirmalam. One's senses must be engaged in devotional service to the Lord. That is the process. The mind must have some engagement. One cannot make the mind vacant. Of course, there are some foolish attempts to try to make the mind vacant or void, but that is not possible. The only process that will purify the mind is to engage in Krishna. The mind must be engaged. If we engage our mind in Krishna, naturally the consciousness becomes fully purified, and there is no chance of the entrance of material desire and greed.
Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 25, Text 17. Tada Purusha Atmanam Kevalam Prakrite Param Nirantaram Swayam Jyotir Animanam Akanditam. Tada, then Purusha, the individual soul, Atmanam, himself, Kevalam, pure, Prakrite Param, transcendental to material existence, Nirantaram, non-different, Swayam Jyotihi, self-effulgent, Animanam, infinitesimal, Akanditam, not fragmented. Translation by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. At that time, the soul can see himself to be transcendental to material existence and always self-effulgent, never fragmented, although very minute in size. Purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. In the state of pure consciousness or Krishna consciousness, one can see himself as a minute particle, non-different from the Supreme Lord. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, the Jiva or the individual soul is eternally part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. Just as the sun's rays are minute particles of the brilliant constitution of the sun, so a living entity is a minute particle of the Supreme Spirit. The individual soul and the Supreme Lord are not separated as in material differentiation. The individual soul is a particle from the very beginning. One should not think that because the individual soul is particle, it is fragmented from the whole spirit. Mayavada philosophy enunciates that the whole spirit exists, but a part of it, which is called the jiva, is entrapped by illusion. This philosophy, however, is unacceptable because spirit cannot be divided like a fragment of matter. That part, the jiva, is eternally a part as long as the supreme spirit exists. His part and parcel also exists. As long as the sun exists, the molecules of the sun's rays also exist. The Jiva particle is estimated in the Vedic literature to be 1,000th the size of the upper portion of a hair. It particle is estimated in the Vedic literature to be 1/10,000th the size of the upper portion of a hair. It is therefore infinitesimal. The Supreme Spirit is infinite, but the living entity or the individual soul is infinitesimal, although it is not different in quality from the Supreme Spirit. Two words in this verse are to be particularly noted. One is Nirantaram, which means non different or of the same quality. The individual soul is also expressed here as Animanam. Animanam means infinitesimal. The Supreme Spirit is all pervading, but the very small spirit is the individual soul. Akhanditam means not exactly fragmented, but constitutionally always infinitesimal. No one can separate the molecular particles of the sunshine from the sun, but at the same time, the molecular part of the sunshine is not as expansive as the sun itself. Similarly, the living entity, by his constitutional position, is qualitatively the same as the Supreme Spirit, but he is infinitesimal.
Text 18. Gnana vairagya yuktena bhakti yuktena chatmanam paripashyati udasinam prakritim cha hatau jasam. Gnanam, knowledge, vairagya, renunciation, yuktena, equipped with bhakti, devotion service, yuktena, equipped with cha and atmana, by the mind. Paripashyati, one sees, udasinam, indifferent, prakritim, material existence, cha and hata ojasam, reduced in strength. Translation. In that position of self realization, by practice of knowledge and renunciation in devotion service, one sees everything in the right perspective. He becomes indifferent to material existence, and the material influence acts less powerfully upon him. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. As the contamination of the germs of the particular disease can influence a weaker person, similarly, the influence of the material nature or illusory energy can act on the weaker or conditioned soul but not on the liberated soul. Self realization is the position of the liberated state. One understands his constitutional position by knowledge and vairagya, renunciation. Without knowledge, one cannot have realization. The realization that one is an infinitesimal part and parcel of the Supreme Spirit makes him unattached to material conditional life. That is the beginning of devotional service. Unless one is liberated from material contamination, one cannot engage himself in the devotional service of the Lord. In this verse, therefore, it is stated, Gnana Vairagya Yuktena. When one is in full knowledge of one's constitutional position and is in the renounced order of life, detached from material attraction, then by pure devotional service, Bhakti Yuktena, he can engage himself as a loving servant of the Lord. Paripashyati means that he can see everything in its right perspective. Then the influence of the material nature becomes almost nil. This is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, Brahma Bhuta, Prasannatma. When one is self realized, he becomes happy and free from the influence of material nature, and at that time he is freed from lamentation and hankering. The Lord states that position as Mad Bhaktim Labate Param, the real state of beginning devotional service. Similarly, it is confirmed in the Narada Pancharatra that when the senses are purified, they can then be engaged in the devotional service of the Lord. One who is attached to material contamination cannot be a devotee. Text 19. Naijyamanaya bhaktya bhagavati akilatmani sadrishosti shiva panta yoginam brahma siddhaye. No, not yujyamanaya, being performed. Bhaktya, devotional service. Bhagavati, towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Akila Atmani, the Super Soul. Sadrishaha, like Asti, there is. Shivaha, auspicious. Pantaha, path. Yoginam, of the yogis. Brahma Siddhaye, for perfection in self-realization. Translation: perfection in self-realization cannot be attained by any kind of yogi unless he engages in devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, for that is the only auspicious path. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. That knowledge and renunciation are never perfect unless joined by devotion service is explicitly explained here. Nayujyamanaya means without being dovetailed. When there is devotion service, then the question is where to offer that service. Devotion service is to be offered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the super soul of everything. For that is the only reliable path of self-realization or Brahman realization. The word Brahma Siddhaye means to understand oneself to be different from matter, to understand oneself to be Brahman. The Vedic words are Aham Brahmasmi. Brahma Siddhi means that one should know that he is not matter. He is pure soul. There are different kinds of yogis, but every yogi is supposed to engage in self-realization or Brahman realization. It is clearly stated here that unless one is fully engaged in the devotional service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one cannot have easy approach to the path of Brahma Siddhi. In the beginning of the second chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated that when one engages himself in the devotional service of the Vasudeva, spiritual knowledge and renunciation of the material world automatically become manifest. Thus, a devotee does not have to try separately for renunciation or knowledge. Devotional service itself is so powerful that by one's service attitude, everything is revealed. It is stated here, Shiva Pantaha. This is the only auspicious path for self-realization. The path of devotion service is the most confidential means for attaining Brahman realization. That perfection, Brahman realization, is attained through the auspicious path of devotion service indicates that the so-called Brahman realization or realization of the Brahmajyoti effulgence is not Brahma Siddhi. Beyond that Brahmajyoti, there is a Supreme Personality of Godhead. In the Upanishads, a devotee prays to the Lord to kindly put aside the effulgence, Brahmajyoti, so that the devotee may see within the Brahmajyoti the actual eternal form of the Lord. Unless one attains realization of the transcendental form of the Lord, there is no question of bhakti. Bhakti necessitates the existence of the recipient of devotion service and the devotee who renders devotion service. Brahma Siddhi through devotion service is realization of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The understanding of the effulgent rays of the body of the Supreme Godhead is not the perfect stage of Brahma Siddhi or Brahman realization, nor is the realization of a Paramatma feature of the Supreme Person perfect for Bhagavan. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is Akilatma. He is the Super Soul. One who realizes the Supreme Personality realize the other features, namely the Paramatma feature and the Brahman feature, and that total realization is Brahma Siddhi. Text 20, Canto 3, Chapter 25. Prasangam ajaram pasam atmanam kavayo vidu saiva sadhushu kruto mokshadvaram apavrutam. Prasangam, attachment. Ajaram, strong. Pasham, entanglement. Atmanaha, the soul. Kavayaha, learned men. Vidu, no. Saiva, that same. Sadhushu, the devotees. Kritaha, applied. Mokshadvaram, the door of liberation. Apavrutam, opened. Translation: every learned man knows very well that attachment for this material is the greatest entanglement of the spirit soul. But that same attachment, when applied to the self-realized devotees, opens the door of liberation. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Here it is clearly stated that attachment for one thing is the cause of bondage in conditional life, and the same attachment, when applied to something else, opens the door of liberation. Attachment cannot be killed. It has simply to be transferred. Attachment for material things is called material consciousness. Attachment for Krishna or his devotee is called Krishna consciousness. Consciousness, therefore, is a platform of attachment. It is clearly stated here that when we simply purify the consciousness from material consciousness to Krishna consciousness, we attain liberation. Despite the statement that one should give up attachment, desirelessness is not possible for a living entity. A living entity, by constitution, has a propensity to be attached to something. We see that if someone has no object of attachment, if he has no children, then he transfers his attachment to cats and dogs. This indicates that the propensity for attachment cannot be stopped. It must be utilized for the best purpose. Our attachment for material things perpetuates our conditioned state. But the same attachment, when transferred to the Supreme Personality of Godhead or his devotee, is a source of liberation. Here it is recommended that attachment should be transferred to the self-realized devotees, sadhus. And who is a sadhu? A sadhu is not just an ordinary man with a saffron robe or long beard. A sadhu is described in Bhagavad Gita as one who unflinchingly engages in devotion service. Even though one is found not to be following the strict rules and regulations of devotion service, if one simply has unflinching faith in Krishna, the Supreme Person, he is understood to be sadhu. Sadhur evasa mantavya. A sadhu is strict follower of devotion service. It is recommended here that if one at all wants to realize Brahman or spiritual perfection, his attachment should be transferred to the sadhu or devotee. Lord Chaitanya also confirmed this. Lavamatra sadhu sangye sarva siddhi haya. Simply by a moment's association with a sadhu, one can attain perfection. Mahatma is a synonym of sadhu. It is said that service to Mahatma or elevated devotee of the Lord is Dwaram Ahur Vimuktehe, the royal road of liberation. Mahat Sevam Dwaram Ahur Vimuktes Tamo Dwaram Yoshitam Sangi Sangam. Bhagavatam 5.5.2. Rendering service to the materialist has the opposite effect. If anyone offers service to a gross materialist or a person engaged only in sense enjoyment, then by association with such a person, the door to hell is opened. The same principle is confirmed here. Attachment to a devotee is attachment to the service of the Lord, because if one associates with a sadhu, the result will be that sadhu will teach him how to become a devotee, a worshipper, and a sincere servitor of the Lord. These are the gifts of a sadhu. If we want to associate with sadhu, we cannot expect him to give us instruction on how to improve our material condition, but he will give us instruction on how to cut the knot of the contamination of material attraction and how to elevate ourselves in devotion service. That is the result of associating with sadhu. Kapila Muni first of all instructs that the path of liberation begins with such association. Text 21, Canto 3, Chapter 25. Tidikshava karunikaha suhrida sarvadehinam ajat shatrava shanta sadhavam sadhu bhushanaha. Titikshavaha, tolerant. Karunikaha, merciful. Suhrada, friendly. Sarvadehinam, to all living entities. Ajata Shatravaha, inimical to none. Shantaha, peaceful. Sadhavaha, abiding by scriptures. Sadhu Bhushanaha, adorned with sublime characteristics. Translation: The symptom of a sadhu are that he is tolerant, merciful, and friendly to all living entities. He has no enemies, he is peaceful, he abides by the scriptures, and all his characteristics are sublime. A purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. A sadhu, as described above, is a devotee of the Lord. His concern, therefore, is to enlighten people in devotional service to the Lord. That is His mercy. He knows that without devotional service to the Lord, human life is spoiled. A devotee travels all over the country from door to door, preaching, be Krishna conscious. Be a devotee of Lord Krishna. Don't spoil your life in simply fulfilling your animal propensities. Human life is meant for self realization or Krishna consciousness. These are the preachings of a sadhu. He is not satisfied with his own liberation. He always thinks about others. He is the most compassionate personality towards all the fallen souls. One of his qualifications, therefore, is Karunika, great mercy to the fallen souls. While engaged in preaching work, he has to meet with so many opposing elements, and therefore the sadhu, or devotee of the Lord, has to be very tolerant. Someone may ill treat him because the conditioned souls are not prepared to receive the transcendental knowledge of devotional service. They do not like it. That is their disease. The sadhu has a thankless task of impressing upon them the importance of devotional service. Sometimes devotees are personally attacked with violence. Lord Jesus Christ was crucified. Haridasa Thakura was caned in 22 marketplaces. And Lord Chaitanya's principal assistant Nityananda was violently attacked by Jagai and Madai. But still, they were tolerant because their mission was to deliver the fallen souls. One of the qualifications of a sadhu is that he is very tolerant and is merciful to all fallen souls. He is merciful because he is a well wisher of all living entities. He is not only a well wisher of human society but a well wisher of animal society as well. It is said here, Sarva Dehinam, which indicates all living entities who have accepted material bodies. Not only does the human being have a material body, but other living entities such as cats and dogs also have material bodies. The devotee of the Lord is merciful to everyone, the cats, dogs, trees, etc. He treats all living entities in such a way that they can ultimately get salvation from this material entanglement. Shivananda Sena, one of the disciples of Lord Chaitanya, gave liberation to a dog by treating the dog transcendentally. There are many instances where a dog got salvation by association with a sadhu, because a sadhu engages in the highest philanthropic activities for the benediction of all living entities. Yet, although a sadhu is not inimical towards anyone, the world is so ungrateful that even a sadhu has many enemies. What is the difference between an enemy and a friend? It's a difference in behavior. A sadhu behaves with all conditioned souls for their ultimate relief from material entanglement. Therefore, no one can be more friendly than a sadhu in relieving a conditioned soul. A sadhu is calm and he quietly and peacefully follows the principles of scripture. A sadhu means one who follows the principles of scripture and at the same time is a devotee of the Lord. One who actually follows the principles of scripture must be devotee of God because all the Shastras instruct us to obey the orders of personality of Godhead. Sadhu therefore means a follower of the scriptural injunctions and a devotee of the Lord. All these characteristics are prominent in a devotee. A devotee develops all the good qualities of the demigods, whereas a non-devotee, even though academically qualified, has no actual good qualification or good characteristics according to the standard of transcendental realization. Text 22, Canto 3, Chapter 25. Mai ananyena bhavena bhaktim kurvanti ye drudam matkrute takta karmanas takta swajana bandhava. Mai unto me ananyena bhavena, with undeviated mind, bhaktim, devotional service, kurvanti, perform, those who, dridam, stanch, matkrute, for my sake, takta, renounced, karmana, activities, takta, renounced, swajana, family relationships, bandhava, friendly acquaintances. Translation: such a sadhu engages in stanch devotional service to the Lord without deviation. For the sake of the Lord, he renounces all other connections, such as family relationships and friendly acquaintances acquaintances within the world. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. A person in the renounced order of life, a sannyasi, is also called a sadhu because he renounces everything: his home, his comfort, his friends, his relatives, and his duties to friends and to family. He renounces everything for the sake of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. A sannyasi is generally in the renounced order of life, but his renunciation will be successful only when his energy is employed in the service of the Lord with great austerity. It is said here, therefore, Bhaktim Kurvanti E Dhrudam. A person who seriously engages in the service of the Lord and is in the renounced order of life is a sadhu. A sadhu is one who has given up all responsibility to society, family, worldly humanitarianism simply for the service of the Lord. As soon as he takes his birth in the world, a person has so many responsibilities and obligations to the public, to the demigods, to the great sages, to the general living beings, to his parents, to the family, forefathers, and to many others. When he gives up all such obligations for the sake of the service of the Supreme Lord, he is not punished for such renunciation of obligation. But if for sense gratification a person renounces all such obligation, he is punished by the law of nature. Text 23. मदाश्रयाः कथमृष्टाः शृण्वन्ति कथयन्ति च तपन्ति विविधास्तपा तापा नैतान् मद्गतचेतसाः. Madashraya, about me. Kathaha, stories. Mrustaha, delightful. Srinvanti, they hear. Kathayanti, they chant. Cha, and. Tapanti, inflict suffering. Vividaha, various. Tapaha, the material miseries. Na, do not. Etan, unto them. Madgata, fixed on me. Chetasaha, their thoughts. Translation: engaged constantly in chanting and hearing about me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the sadhus do not suffer from material miseries because they are always filled with the thoughts of my pastimes and the activities. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. There are multifarious miseries in material existence, those pertaining to the body and the mind, those imposed by other living entities, and those imposed by natural disturbances. But a sadhu is not disturbed by such miserable conditions because his mind is always filled with Krishna consciousness, and thus he does not like to talk about anything but the activities of the Lord. Maharaja Ambarisa did not speak of anything but the pastimes of the Lord. Vachamsi Vaikunta Gunanavarnane, Bhagavatam 9.4.18. He engaged his words only in glorification of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sadhus are always interested in hearing about the activities of the Lord or his devotees. Since they are filled with Krishna consciousness, they are forgetful of the material miseries. Ordinary conditioned souls, being forgetful of the activities of the Lord, are always full of anxieties and material tribulation. On the other hand, since the devotees always engage in the topics of the Lord, they are forgetful of the miseries of material existence. Text 24. Tayede sadhava sadvi sarvasanga vivarjitaha sangastve teshu antate prardaya sangadosha hari harahite. Te, those very sadhava, devotees, sadhvi, virtuous lady, sarva, all, sangha, attachment, vivarjita, freed from, sangha, attachment, teshu, unto them, atha, hence, te, by you, prardayaha, must be sought, sangha dosha, the pernicious effects of material attachments, haraha, counteractors of he, indeed, they. Translation: O my mother, O virtuous lady, these are the qualities of great devotees who are free from all attachment. You must seek attachment to such holy men, for this counteracts the pernicious effects of material attachment. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Kapila Muni herein advises his mother Devahuti that if she wants to be free from material attachment, she should increase her attachment for the sadhu or devotees who are completely freed from all material attachment. In Bhagavad Gita 15th chapter, verse 5, it is stated who is qualified to enter into the kingdom of God. It is said there, Nirmana Moha Jitasanga Dosha. This refers to one who is completely freed from the puffed up condition of material possessiveness. A person may be materially very rich, opulent or respectable, but if he at all wants to transfer himself to the spiritual kingdom, back home, back to Godhead, then he has to be freed from the puffed up condition of material possessiveness, because that is a false position. The word moha used here means the false understanding that one is rich or poor in this material world. The conception that one is rich or poor or any such consciousness in connection with the material existence is false, because this body itself is false, a temporary. A pure soul who is prepared to be freed from the material attachment entanglement must first of all be free from the association of the three modes of nature. Our consciousness at the present moment is polluted because of association with the three modes of nature. Therefore, in Bhagavad Gita, the same principle is stated. It is advised Jita Sangha Dosha. One should be freed from the contaminated association of the three modes of material nature. Here also in the Srimad Bhagavatam, this is confirmed. A pure devotee who is preparing to transfer himself to the spiritual kingdom is also freed from the association of three modes of material nature. We have to seek the association of such devotees. For this reason, we have begun the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. There are many mercantile, scientific, and other associations in human society to develop a particular type of education or consciousness, but there is no association which helps one to get free from all the material association. If anyone has reached the stage where he must become free from this material contamination, then he has to seek the association of devotees, wherein Krishna consciousness is exclusively cultured. One can thereby become freed from all material association. Because a devotee is freed from all contaminated material association, he is not affected by the miseries of material existence. Even though he appears to be in the material world, he is not affected by the miseries of the material world. How is it possible? There is a very good example in the activities of the cat. The cat carries her kittens in her mouth, and when she kills a rat, she also carries the booty in her mouth. Thus, both are carried in the mouth of the cat, but they are in different conditions. The kitten feels comfort in the mouth of the mother, whereas when the rat is carried in the mouth of the cat, the rat feels the blows of death. Similarly, those who are sadhavas or devotees engaged in Krishna consciousness in the transcendental service of the Lord do not feel the contamination of material miseries, whereas those who are not devotees in Krishna consciousness actually feel the miseries of material existence. One should therefore give up the association of materialistic persons and seek the association of persons engaged in Krishna consciousness, and by such association he will benefit in spiritual advancement. By their words and instruction, he will be able to cut off his attachment to material existence. Text 25. Satam prasanga mama virya samvido bhavanti hritkarna rasayana kada tajjosanadashva apavargavartmani shraddha ratir bhaktir anukramishati. Satam, of pure devotees, prasangat, through the association, mama, my, virya, wonderful activities, samvida, by discussion, bhavanti, become hrit, to the heart, karna, to the ear, rasa ayanaha, pleasing, kada, the stories, tat, of that, josanat, by cultivation, also quickly, apavarga, of liberation, vartmani, on the path, shraddha, firm faith, ratihi, attraction, bhakti, devotion, anukramishati, will follow in order. Translation: in the association of pure devotees, discussion of the pastimes and activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is very pleasing and satisfying to the ear and the heart. By cultivating such knowledge, one gradually becomes advanced on the path of liberation, and therefore thereafter he is freed and his attraction becomes fixed. Then real devotion and devotional service begin. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The process of advancing in Krishna consciousness and devotion service is described here. The first point is that one must seek the association of persons who are Krishna conscious and who engage in devotional service. Without such association, one cannot make advancement. Simply by theoretical knowledge or study, one cannot make any appreciable advancement. One must give up the association of materialistic persons and seek the association of devotees, because without the association of devotee, one cannot understand the activities of the Lord. Generally, people are convinced of the impersonal feature of the absolute truth. Because they do not associate with devotees, they cannot understand that the absolute truth can be a person and have personal activities. This is a very difficult subject matter. Unless one has personal understanding of the absolute truth, therefore there is no meaning to devotion. Service or devotion cannot be offered to anything impersonal. Service must be offered to a person. Non-devotees cannot appreciate Krishna consciousness by reading the Srimad Bhagavatam or any other Vedic literature wherein the activities of the Lord are described. They think that these activities are fictional, manufactured stories, because spiritual life is not explained to them in the proper mood. To understand the personal activities of the Lord, one has to seek the association of the devotees, and by such association, when one completes and tries to understand the transcendental activities of the Lord, the path to liberation is open, and he is freed. One who has firm faith in the Supreme Personality of Godhead becomes fixed, and his attraction for association with the Lord and the devotees increases. Association with the devotees means association with the Lord. The devotee who makes this association develops the consciousness for rendering service to the Lord, and then being situated in the transcendental position of the devotional service, he gradually becomes perfect. Text 26. Bhaktyān pumajīta virāga indriya drushtā śrutan madhrachanānuchintaya Chittasya yatto grahane yoga yukto yatishyati rujibir yoga margai. Bhaktya, by devotion service. Puman, a person. Jata viraga, having developed distaste. Aindriyat, for sense gratification. Drashta, seen in this world. Shrutat, heard in the next world. Matrachana, my activities of creation and so on. Anuchintaya, by constantly thinking about. Chittasya, the mind. Yattaha, engaged. Grahane, in the control. Yoga yukta, situated in devotional service. Yatishyate, will endeavor. Rijibhi, is easy. Yoga margahi, by the process of mystic power. Translation: thus consciously engaged in devotional service, in the association of devotees, a person gains distaste for sense gratification, both in this world and the next, by constantly thinking about the activities of the Lord. This process of Krishna consciousness is the easiest process of mystic power. When one is actually situated on that path of devotional service, he is able to control the mind. Purport: purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. In all scriptures, people are encouraged to act in a pious way so that they can enjoy sense gratification not only in this life but also in the next. But for example, one is promised promotion to the heavenly kingdom of higher planets by pious, fruitive activities. But a devotee in the association of devotees prefers to contemplate the activities of the Lord, how He has created this universe, how He is maintaining it, how the creation dissolves, how in the spiritual kingdom the Lord's pastimes are going on. There are full literatures describing these activities of the Lord, especially Bhagavad Gita, Brahma Samhita, and Srimad Bhagavatam. The sincere devotee who associates with a devotee gets the opportunity to hear and contemplate the subject of the pastimes of the Lord, and the result is that he feels distaste for so-called happiness in this or that world, in heaven or another planets. The devotees are simply interested in being transferred to the personal association of the Lord. They have no more attraction for temporary so-called happiness. That is the position of one who is yoga yukta. One who is fixed in mystic power is not disturbed by the allurement of this world or that world. He is interested in the matters of spiritual understanding or the spiritual situation. This sublime situation is very easily attained by the easiest process, Bhakti Yoga, Rujibir Yoga Margahe. A very suitable word used here is Rujibi or very easy. There are different processes of Yoga Marga, attaining yoga perfection, but this process, devotional service to the Lord, is the easiest. Not only is it the easiest process, but the result is sublime. Everyone, therefore, should try to take this process of Krishna consciousness and reach the highest perfection of life. Today we read up to Canto 3, Chapter 25, Text 26. Sarvam Sri Krishna Arpanamastu Sarve Jana Sukhino Bhavantu Lokan Samastu Sukhino Bhavantu. Hare Krishna. We'll continue to Guru Puja. Sri Guru Chirana Padma Kevala Bhakati Satma Vandamui Savadana Mate कृष्ण प्राप्ति हो जहाँ होते कृष्ण प्राप्ति हो जहाँ होते यरमुख पद्मावाक्या चित्ते कुरिया क्या नरना करी हमानी आशा हे गुरु चेरानी रति ऐसे उत्तम गति जय प्रसादे पूरे सर्व आशा जय प्रसादे पूरे सर्व आशा चक्षुदान दिलो जे जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से चक्षुदान दिलो जे जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशितो दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशितो प्रेम भक्ति चाह होते अविद्या विनाश जाते वेदे गाय जहरा चरितो श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु आदामादे नारा बंधु श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु आदामादे नारा बंधु लोकाना लोकेरा जीवाना लोकाना लोकेरा जीवाना आह प्रभु करो दया देह मोरे पाद छाया आह प्रभु करो दया देह मोरे पाद छाया ये बेजास घुसुक त्रिभुवाना ये बेजास घुसुक त्रिभुवाना लीला प्रभुपाद पतिता पावाना जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्ता स्वामिन्यिति नामिने कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्ता नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे नमस्ते जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंदा श्री चैतन्य नित्यानंद गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल जय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल जय गौर हरि बोल The lotus feet of our spiritual master are the only way by which we can attain pure devotional service. I bow down to his lotus feet with great awe and reverence. By his grace, one can cross the ocean of material suffering and obtain the mercy of Krishna. My only wish is to have my consciousness purified by the words emanating from his lotus mouth. Attachment to his lotus feet is a perfection that fulfills all desires. He opens my darkened eyes and fills my heart with transcendental knowledge. He is my Lord birth after birth. From him ecstatic prema emanates. By him ignorance is destroyed. The Vedic scriptures sing of his character. Our spiritual master is the ocean of mercy, the friend of the poor, the Lord and master of the devotees. O Master, be merciful unto us. Give us the shade of your lotus feet. Your fame is spread all over the three worlds. We take the shelter of your lotus feet. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.